have no idea who she is, where she came from. This is another scam. It's a political witch hunt.
Trump on Truth Social, he's ordered to pay Carroll $5 million. Federal criminal charges are filed against New York House Republican George Santos.
The nature of the counts in the Eastern District of New York are unclear. Santos has been accused by many of his fellow Republicans and some who voted for him last year of embellishing his background in order to get elected, which he has admitted doing.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Buddy Holly wins Best in Show at the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. His co-owner and handler, Janice Hayes, on Fox Sports 1.
I have dreamed of this since I was 9 years old.
It's a first for the breed, PBVG for short. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Live and local. Real talk starts now.
Are we live?
We're live.
Is it
We're
working?
live.
Is it working?
Yeah, I think so.
Everything's working. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown,
I'm Kelly.
and it's Wednesday.
Yes.
Hey, I had to think about it for just a second. Hump day. Here we go. Welcome to Live and Local Real Talk, and we do appreciate you guys joining us this morning.
Mhm.
And we are. I guess we're up on Facebook. I have no way.
We are.
We tried. We worked, and it worked.
We don't have our sidekick in here today to
Yeah, I know.
make it right, but I'm fairly certain we're up.
Yeah,
on
Lee's
both of
hanging back this morning,
Yeah.
and so it's Kel, Lee, and
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
That rhymed, by the
I
way.
know it is. Yes.
Mhm.
Good job. Of.
Artificial intelligence.
Oh, don't start with that. Are you serious? Are you being
Yes,
serious?
the president made Kamala Harris the AI czar. She couldn't do the border, so he's given her something that maybe she could relate to: artificial intelligence.
Well, I'm concerned about AI in general. So the fact that he made her it, she didn't do anything with the border. So I'm going to go with she's not going to do anything with this. We may be okay.
My
Really? This is really a
God.
thing?
Yes, it's really a thing.
Oh, my.
And you should hear Musk out there. He's just gone off on the whole
I
thing.
guarantee he has.
He's an anti-AI person.
I'm anti-AI.
Me too.
And I'm not always into things that he's into, but I am very anti-AI.
But I can't think of a more appropriate person to have a title of artificial intelligence
I think
czar.
would say that.
Oh, really?
That's funny.
Okay, coming up today on the show, we got, of course, Dr. Rosemary Stein.
Mhm.
We're going to have to talk to her about a little bit about COVID this morning because I just need to know some things.
Yeah. And I have a question for her too. I've got a kid client with a small baby sibling that has developed something that I've never heard of, but apparently it's like super serious.
What?
I can't pronounce it. I have to pull it up on my phone.
Okay.
I've never heard of it. So I want to know, is this like a like a thing? And it's, they actually live down in Leland, but they come up here for therapy. But they said quite a few kids down there have it. Like I said, I've never even heard of it. So I want to know. I have questions.
Well, we'll find out about that this morning.
Yeah.
And we also have coming up she's at 7:30. At 8:00, we have Chief Mike Anero.
Yeah.
He's the public safety director here in Jacksonville, in charge of the police and the fire departments.
Correct.
So we'll have him in here. A couple of new devices. They either have them. They didn't 3 weeks ago when I talked with him, but they either have them or they're coming. That's going to make crime fighting a little bit easier.
I like that.
So that's going to be interesting to talk with him about. Also about the memorial coming up on the 15th, the police memorial LEO situation. So we'll talk with him about that as well this morning when he gets here.
Okay.
Between now and then, it's your turn. 910-333-0139. World Athletics. That's a group, right?
I never heard of it. Is it? Okay.
Yep. Has banned transgender women from participating in women's sports at the summer 2024 Paris Olympics to, in their words, protect the female category.
I don't have a problem with that.
That
I'm
means
sure a lot of
all the
people.
work that this one French lady,
Mhm.
a French native, Halba Diouf, I don't know, has done is for naught.
Mhm.
She's been practicing. I don't know. Halba was born a male, had
Mhm.
been looking forward to running for her home country in France, training for the 2-meter race. The sprinter began treatment to transition as an adult,
Mhm.
and French authorities recognized her change in 2021. However, the World Athletics Organization said, ain't gonna happen no mo. Too many, we read about it pretty much in every day's news columns, I find it. Transgender, what are now women that were born men,
Mhm.
are winning everything in the women's leagues.
Yeah.
Biking, whatever.
Mhm.
They're beating out the women.
Yeah.
So if they were not good enough to compete as men, became women, and decided to try to do it as a woman,
Mhm.
and were winning, did that build their self-esteem, I guess? They
Possibly.
could not,
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's kind of like reducing in school
Mhm.
the requirements just so the people on the lower end of the scale could feel better about themselves.
I don't know, but I think that especially in a lot of women's sports,
Mhm.
the swimming thing comes to mind because I
Oh,
mean
yeah.
that guy just dominated, and
Uh-huh.
but here's the thing difference: he had not had any kind of surgery.
Mhm.
Um, you
I'd say it
know,
was still a male.
he was completely still a man.
And how can he compete?
He because he quit identified. That guy, and he called himself by a girl's name, but he still basically had male body parts. I'll just leave it at that. And that's what some of the girls at Penn State were upset about because he was trying to come in the locker room. They had, I mean, and I get it. I do.
Oh, I do
There's
too.
a whole different story than if you've actually had surgery that does level the playing field a little bit.
Not much. No, because
because
it's up here still.
yeah,
It's in the brain.
but I mean, I could see, men biologically, historically, or biologically, whatever term you want to use, are genetically just often stronger than, not always,
Not always.
but
Generally speaking,
can
they
be
are the
physically
hunters, they
stronger.
are the
Yeah.
providers,
Yeah.
they are the strong part of the
Now, I
family.
know some women that are stronger than men.
Oh, I
mean,
know.
I have
There
a friend
are
that she will take a
exceptions.
man down quick.
There are exceptions to
Uh-huh.
everything.
Yeah.
However, in general,
Generally speaking, yes. And, so I can honestly see both sides of this.
Mhm.
But I think if we don't put some kind of cap or something,
women's sports will go away.
it will, because some men who really don't really identify, but just can't make it in a man sport world, will say identify and try
Then
to do
let's
it.
have
Yeah.
3 worlds: men, women, and them.
Well, then I don't know. It comes.
Let them compete against themselves and see how they do.
I think people would argue that that's segregationist. I mean, I don't have an answer for
It's
this.
segregationist to have women and men's sports, then, if you want to say that.
You're right about that. Good point. Yes, true.
So
true.
if
Yeah.
you maybe just everybody compete in one sport,
Yeah.
therefore there will be no women's sports.
Good point. I don't have an issue with it, but I know it's going to be made an issue. I didn't even know there were Olympics in Paris next year.
Yeah,
So I
Summer
just learned
Olympics.
something. Yeah.
So
I wondered when they were going to be. Now I know. Okay. Just learned something.
I ain't going to be there.
I don't go to Paris. So yeah.
Neither do I.
Mm-mm.
Let's go to the former president.
I was wondering when you were going to bring this up.
Well, he says he's going to appeal the ruling in the E. Jean Carroll civil case, saying he has absolutely no idea who she is, and blasted the verdict as a continuation of the greatest political witch hunt in history. I'm not sure he's not right.
Well, what I have to say, I agree with that part. I don't, personally, and let's be clear, everybody, this is not a criminal case. This is a civil case. It has no merit other than he owes her money.
$5 million, I think it is.
But it's not a criminal charge. So the argument that he should not run, sadly, cannot be made. I don't want him running. So there's that. But
I would prefer that he not run, but that's beside the point.
You can't argue that he's been convicted because he hasn't been. This is a civil
federal
case.
Jury. I'm still trying to figure out how this reached the federal level.
If it was brought up in state charge, I agree.
For a civil case, I'm confused here.
And mainly because he was not, when this supposedly happened, 30 something years ago.
Yeah,
he was not a elected official of any. He was a businessman. He was just a civilian.
Federal jury in New York decided yesterday that Trump was not liable for rape.
Correct.
As he was being accused, but was liable for sexual abuse and defamation.
With no evidence.
He's ordered to pay $5 million. The female mentioned, Ms. Carroll, she's 79 now, alleged that Trump raped her at the Bergdorf Goodman department store across the street from Trump Tower in Manhattan back sometime, quote unquote, sometime in 1996. Let me ask you, if you were raped 30 years ago, 28 years ago, would you not remember the date and the time exactly?
Most rape victims, I worked with one yesterday, matter of fact, most of them can tell you the date. Some can tell the time, some probably they can 100. I've never met anybody couldn't tell the date, though, to be honest.
According to Carol, the two of them had a chance run-in at the store where Trump was shopping for a gift for a girl. That was what she called it, just a girl. She claimed he asked her for advice. So the two shopped together before he pushed her into a dressing room and attacked her. Trump and the legal team he's got, of course, insist that Carol's allegations are fabricated, with the former president's initial reaction including an accusation that Carol was motivated by wanting to sell her book. She's written a book.
Okay.
And she wants to make sure she makes a lot of money off the book.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened. But
why would you wait? Why would you not go to the police department in 1996, sometime in 1996? I mean, she wasn't like a little child in 1996. She's almost 80 now, but in 1996, she was still very much an adult female. Why would you not go to the police at that time and say, this man, his name is Donald Trump. I don't know a bunch about him, but he raped me. Why would you not make that claim?
I mean, a lot of people don't for a lot of reasons, but
why at 79 or 76 or whenever she filed this complaint?
And that's what makes it look so suspect, is that she just waited so long
until she wrote a book.
And he was a political figure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about this, but there's, the statute of limitations. They can't charge. There's no evidence. She didn't report. There was no anything. So she went civilly. But like I said, people being like, he's convicted. He's not convicted of anything.
Nope.
He just has to pay a civil fine.
He's appealed. And of course, the federal judge was a Clinton appointee.
I mean, the sad thing about it is this does look so politically motivated. And what's even worse is if he really did do it, a lot of people are going to assume she's lying for political gain or financial gain. People are going to question her credibility too.
I questioned it just reading the information.
So I mean, it's a mess. And the worst part about it is, as long as there is an appeal, he's not going to have to pay her any money till that's heard.
Nope.
So, and appeals drag on for years.
Yep. So I'm assuming she had to get an attorney to file the civil case,
I would assume,
which
yeah.
is going to be somebody who's doing it for 1/3 of whatever they get out of it, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Unless just somebody's also paid by the DNC.
I think right now the DNC have got other things to worry about other than something like this, because there's a lot of infighting. They're crying about poll numbers. You know, Biden's not doing well in the polls against even against Republican candidates. Right now, the polls, one I saw this weekend, they've got Trump beating him, and they're upset.
Well, yeah,
49 to 42% or something like that. That's the one I saw. I'm still wanting to know how you get on these polls, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. Well, we could conduct our own poll here if you want to.
Well, I know how it will go, probably.
Yeah, by 99% in favor of Trump.
So, and I'll say again, I would prefer Trump did not run.
I
would prefer he did not.
Let's have a nice, clean election and, and then see what happens.
We're not going to have one with him
we're not going to have
fray.
One. No. Even if he doesn't get the nomination, he's going to be part of the system.
It's just going to become a hot mess.
Yeah.
And the actual issues are going to be overshadowed. Just my opinion, though.
So I wonder what the big issues will be. What should the big issues be that we, regardless of who the candidates are, we're assuming that Biden will get the nomination. His biggest, I think, albatross is going to be Kamala Harris. That's going to be his biggest problem, followed closely on, by Hunter.
Well, I think the big issues need to be rising costs. I think homelessness is still a huge issue.
Did you see what the price of gas has done suddenly? Now that we're approaching the election season, it's dropped again.
I know.
It's going to continue to drop. Wait and see.
You know, medical care, the border, fentanyl, mental health. We have a lot crime. We have a lot of issues.
The border is the #1 issue as far as I'm concerned.
All of it. I mean, over whether Donald Trump did or did not do something.
Yeah.
I mean, 30-something years ago.
It's like 107,000 Americans die.
Oh, I bet that number's going to be different.
Yeah, it's going to be increased. But 107,000 at the last recorded time, 107,000 Americans died from fentanyl overdoses.
Yeah.
Where does fentanyl come from? It originates in China and it's delivered into the United States of America across that southern border. It's pressed into pill form, whatever opioid pills that you want. They putting it, what is it? Hydrocodone, Oxycontin.
There's Super Perks or Percocet with
Percocets, and
now we've got Trank, which is xylazine and fentanyl.
Oh yeah,
and that's a whole nother. That's a whole separate.
And that eats your flesh away before it kills you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you die a miserable death.
Gross.
With fentanyl. You die a relatively rapid death because these pills that you guys, you idiots out there, who none of them listen to us anyway, because they're not up this time of morning. But the idiots that are out there taking this stuff, they have no idea how much fentanyl's in it.
Well, a lot of them don't know there's any fentanyl in it. That's the big issue is the fentanyl is in this stuff.
It's being sold as Percocets, and then it's got other stuff in it to really get you going, to keep you coming back. But too many of those pills are hot.
We've had marijuana here in Onslow County laced with fentanyl. We had an overdose here last year.
That was very intentional.
Yep. And it was a younger person, and they obviously did not know fentanyl was in it. Like, I mean, it is in.
So why would you put fentanyl in marijuana if the guy's going to buy pot anyway?
I agree. I don't have an answer for you. Maybe I don't. To me, it's malice, but I mean, meanness or let's see what this does. I don't know. I don't have an answer. That's disturbing.
So,
and I will tell you this: when I was in Georgia at the conference, one of the new products on the market, which I have such mixed feelings about, but I get it, I do, is fentanyl test strips. I actually have some, They gave me a sample of them.
Really?
So what you do is if you have someone that it'll test for the presence of fentanyl inside your medicine bottle.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they selling whole bottles of this stuff?
There are these tests.
I know. No,
Yeah,
I'm not.
I think what I'm thinking it was designed for, and I need to talk to the company that was selling them. I could ask. And this is more considered what in the world of treatment, prevention, whatever, it's called harm reduction. I'm on the fence on harm reduction. I get it. I understand the concept. I'm not fully on board with it, but I understand you have to do something till people are ready to stop using. I get it. But I think that wasn't explained. I've never heard of it, but this must be a thing. Why else would you need these test strips? Unless you can also use this, like I buy like a bag of 5 pills and you can put them in there, but they're designed, they go in and they will test for the presence of fentanyl. They're trying to reduce the overdoses. And I get it. Like I said, it's called harm reduction.
For God's sakes.
Yeah. But it's a thing now and you can purchase these. It doesn't, that's a whole separate story. But but I have some. They gave us some as a free sample. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these? I mean, I just have them because it's not something I would want to pass out to clients because I'm trying to get people to stop using. I'm not,
all that does is encourage.
I think it's in the harm reserve world, it's the harm reduction world. It's designed to, keep someone safe until they're ready to stop. Like I said, I get it. I have mixed feelings.
To me, labs like passing.
It's like needle exchanges.
That was exactly it.
And that needle exchange is harm reduction.
The free needles that they're handing out.
And people are still doing that a lot. Yeah.
Which is like, you're live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM WSME. We're going to take a break and do a little bit of weather. We'll be right back.
Shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
DQ presents. Picture this. You stand before the awe-inspiring new signature stack burger menu at DQ and your mouth wonders, where have you been a while? That's 5 taste bud tempting cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef. You peek at the loaded A1 stack burger, 2 premium sauces. Then the flamethrower stack burger with tongue-tingling jalapeno bacon. Then you realize moments like these are exactly why we have the DQ signature stack burger menu. DQ. Happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Mills International Incorporated, your local Cub Cadet dealer, is ready for spring, and you should be too, with the Cub Cadet Ultima Series. See how these zero-turn mowers have stepped up from a traditional lap bar to familiar steering wheel experience for stability on a variety of terrains, including hills up to 20 degrees. Unlock the possibilities of your own with the Cub Cadet Ultima Series. Head to your local Cub Cadet dealer, Mills International Incorporated, at 801 South Queen Street in Kinston for exceptional offers, expert advice, and superior service.
A plan every adult family member should consider is pre-arranged funeral. It's the worry-saving thing to do for your family. Making pre-arrangements helps to alleviate the additional stress on family members that can come with arranging a loved one's funeral. Jones Funeral Home's prepaid funeral plan helps remove confusion. They make a practical evaluation of costs possible, and it's the best way to take an unpleasant task off the shoulders of the family. Call Jones Funeral Home at 455-1281.
With locations in Jacksonville, Richland, Swansboro, and Holly Ridge.
Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local carrier indoor weather team, serving all of your heating and air conditioning needs since 1967. Now offers residential and commercial duct and dryer vent cleaning, and now offers expert residential and commercial plumbing service. In case of a power outage due to a storm or for any other reason, be prepared with a Generac generator for your home or business. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning has Generac generators in stock, ready to install today. Remember, better breathing comes with cleaner air. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning improve the air quality in your home or business with professional air duct cleaning. As always, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning is available 24/7 for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing and needs. Turn to the Carrier experts, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, with locations in Jacksonville and Hempstead. Visit online, humphreyheating.com, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning since 1967. Relax, we're on the way.
Hello, shoppers, and happy Mother's Day from your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store down the street with good things cost less over on the Richlands Highway here in Jacksonville and Main Street, Maysville. Half-cut boneless ribeye loin, just $9.99 a pound. How about fresh ground beef patties, $4.79 a pound. Whole Boston butt is just $1.29 a pound. Western ribs or pork steaks, just $1.99 a pound. Boneless chuck roast, just $4.79 a pound. And whole chickens are just $1.49 a pound. And remember, the beef and pork is cut fresh every day by the butchers at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store. And they use only the finest certified Angus beef and Sanderson's Farm chicken. Over in produce, you get a 1 pound package of fresh strawberries for just $2.99. Whole seedless watermelons, just $4.99 each. Yellow or zucchini squash is only $1.99 a pound. About extra large, genuine Vidalia onions, just $1.49 a pound. And ruby grape tomatoes, just $1.99 a pint. And tropical mangoes are only 99 cents each. And you get 3 6-packs of Pepsi or Mountain Dew for just $11. It's locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store down the street where good things cost less. Richlands Highway, Jacksonville, and Main Street in Maysville. Remember, save big with the pig.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
You know, weather's looking pretty decent for a few days. Today might be a little bit dicey, so it'd be a good day to go on down to Tideline Marine and get your stuff in order. You can pick up some fishing lures because you can rest assured. And I got one yesterday that was made from some of the devices that were down there. I'm going to be trying it out very shortly. And if it works, we're going to make some up or at least show you the people out there how to make them.
So you have a plan. This is an experiment.
This is an experiment.
Okay.
Experiment.
Interesting. Okay. I want to know how this works out for okay.
Well, a guy who is a local guy and a local guide, he uses it. He makes it himself out of the parts that he gets the Tideline. And for Spanish mackerel and for bluefish, he is killing. He's tearing them up.
He ought to patent that.
He should.
Yeah.
But you rest assured we will sell it as a kit.
Right.
If it works.
Right.
I will be trying it out sooner than later.
No, but I'm curious now. See how it works.
It's really pretty. It's neat. And I saw him last weekend and he had several on board. He went downriver. He's a guy that can't fish in the ocean because he gets seasick.
I understand that.
You understand that. So he fishes in the river, but he fishes for Spanish mackerel and blues in the river and troll swarm, just like he's in the ocean.
Nice.
And he's catching them.
Wow.
He left the docks, went down river, came back and had 5 really nice bluefish.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Using this thing setup.
So they come into the river.
Oh, yeah, they're in the river. They're all over the river.
Okay.
You can find Spanish mackerel almost in Jacksonville.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, they're there. You just got to fish for them. Most people, too many people go fishing, as George will tell you down at Tideline. We overshoot the fish. We have a plan to go somewhere.
Right.
And then we just bypass all the fish between here and there.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. But most guys do that. So it's just
it works for you.
It's a
cool.
thing.
Okay.
But so you stay in touch with the folks down the Tideline because if this happens to work out like I think it's going to work out, it's promising. Then we got all the makings for it down the Tideline.
Okay.
So y'all gonna want to try it out. If I come back with pictures of fish and I start posting online, you're gonna know the situation.
If you look like you're running a fish stand, we're gonna know that this works.
That's
okay.
it. So Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street, on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Got a smoke advisory in effect through tonight. Offshore today, northeasterly winds 15 to 20, increasing to 25 early this afternoon, then diminishing to 15 to 20 later in the day. Seas 3 to 5, 2 to 3 near shore. Dominant period 5 seconds. Sounds and rivers choppy, becoming rough early this afternoon. Tomorrow, easterly winds 5 to 10, seas 2 to 3, dominant period 5 seconds, sounds and rivers only a light chop. And Friday, just going into the weekend, and this is the beginning of another nice long weekend, seas 2 to 3 feet, winds out of the south at 5 to 10 on Friday.
Not bad. Today it's going to be sunny, high of 76, gusty today. Tonight, clear, low of 50, not gusty at all. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 80. Oh, they're going to gust again tomorrow as well. Come on, Gus. Tomorrow night, clear, low of 56. It's so weird how they don't gust at night. This is so weird to me. And then Friday, sunny, high of 82 and gusty. Yeah.
Keep it calm.
And they don't really tell us about the gusts but the weekend doesn't look gusty. It looks awesome.
It looks awesome.
Just
it's looking
awesome.
right offshore as well.
So we'll see. But I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
We're waiting for a call from Dr. Rosemary Stein. We got a couple of
I
questions.
got a question queued up,
you-
something I've never heard of.
We also have Chief Mike Canero, Public Safety Director for the City of Jacksonville Police and Fire Department. He's been really busy. He's putting together a budget. He's
That's
fighting.
hard work.
He's fighting. He's fighting City Hall. Can you win at City Hall?
Well, I don't know about that.
So, it's give and take, right?
It is a give and take. Yes.
So anyway, well, that's good. While we're waiting for Dr. Rose, we'll go ahead and start with you just a little bit here. Two of the items that I wanted to bring up were something that you were talking about a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago with me. A rapid test for DNA is one. Whoop, there she is, right on cue. So we'll hold off for that just a second. Yeah, maybe she'll call back on the other line. Anyway, but a rapid test for DNA.
Yay.
There we go. That's working better. Dr. Stein, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, all of you?
We're hanging in here. We appreciate your call this morning. And we also have our public safety director, Chief Mike Canero, is in the studio with us this morning. So we're going to be talking with him about a whole bunch of different stuff. But a couple of things that I've got. One, help me out. I hate to go back to that COVID word, but I'm going to. If I am with a person who spend the weekend with a person who comes down after the weekend, like on Monday night or late Sunday night, Monday night, Monday night, and test positive for COVID
with 140
degree temperature. How long is it that I've got to wait before I'm clear? No problem.
Well, it seems that the incubation period for COVID has been about 2 to 4 days.
Okay.
And usually right around that 3-day mark. So once you get to the 3-day mark, I think that you're pretty much clear. Now, COVID is this condition, this disease that you really can't pinpoint down. I've seen children have COVID that have had no exposure. I've seen brothers and sisters where they sleep in the same bed, and there are four of them, and one doesn't get it at all. It just really sometimes doesn't make any sense. So you can't pinpoint it down. But it seems to me over the last 3 years, what I've seen is if at day 3 you don't have it, you're most likely not going to get it. Now, the historic period for quarantine from 2020 was 5 days.
Right.
You mean day 3 after the other individual tested positive, or
day 3 from the time that you were in contact with that person?
And
once they were sick.
That's the incubation period.
And even though that person was not sick when you were in contact with them.
Right.
I don't know that well, you are incubating the illness a day or 2 before.
Okay.
And that's usually when you're the most contagious. So the day before somebody became sick, if you were with them, you are more likely to get sick.
All right.
Okay,
Gotcha.
well then the person that we're talking about heard that, so yeah.
Yep.
You know
She's
what to
listening
do.
in.
Yeah. You know what that means.
So,
All right.
Okay.
She's got a couple more days.
Yep.
yes, and then remember that the illness is not at all what it used to be.
Correct.
It's more like the flu is even that. Actually, the flu has more symptoms now than COVID has in these last 2 or 3 go-arounds.
Right.
So, don't get all upset and think, oh my gosh.
All right.
Now, it was funny because yesterday we had a very sick boy, not with COVID, but he has some very serious underlying medical conditions, and one of them is cancerous. And he came into the office and he said, oh, by the way, the teacher said I have to get tested for COVID because 2 seats from me, one boy was positive for COVID.
Oh, wonderful.
And so it was like, okay, well, you really needed to tell us that beforehand. And so we're scrambling because nobody, we were all
Yeah, you weren't
not
prepared.
aware
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah.
We didn't take any precautions.
Right.
But then Dave said, uh-oh, wait a minute. He's got this medical condition. We need to call his specialist and see if he needed to have a regimen because he's been in contact with somebody with COVID. And that did happen. So, we still need to take those precautions. If you have an underlying medical condition and you've been in contact with somebody, then it's directly, not, he said, she said, and there's 3 people in the middle. I'm talking about direct contact, and that was direct contact.
Sure.
Then you need to make sure that you call your specialist or your doctor and let them know so that they can be thoughtful and say, okay, this is what you need to do. And it may just come down to taking some extra vitamin D's and C's, some zinc, and staying put for a day. But make sure that if you do come in contact with somebody, and it doesn't restrain itself to COVID. If you've got the flu or any illness that can bring down your immunity, that may make your white count drop, or your sugar gets too high, like if you have insulin-dependent diabetes, you should call your doctor and let them know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. You got some
I've
questions?
got a question. So I have a client that it's a kid, it's a family, and the baby, I obviously don't see the baby, is about a year to less than 2, but I think it's between the age of 1 and 2. Well, last week the baby came down with, and I would ask you what this was because I've never heard of it, metapneumovirus.
Who?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is that, first off? Because now it has grown into something else. But what is that first? I've never heard of that.
It's very similar in a baby to what bronchiolitis is.
Okay.
So it causes an infection of the airways,
Mhm.
and so they can tend to wheeze some, cough, have a lot of drainage. But it's very similar to RSV.
Okay.
And it
Okay.
mostly attacks infants, but
Mhm.
it can affect also young children.
Yeah.
Adults sometimes get it, but we have an immunity because it's everywhere. So that most likely most adults with good immunity are going to be able to fight this off at some point, and so that then when you're older, you will not get very sick from it.
Okay. Well, now the baby has developed strep throat and pneumonia from that whatever original thing.
Ouch.
This poor family is just, they're having a time with this kid. I mean, it's just sad.
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
it's just terrible.
So
I
what
feel bad
happens
for
is
them.
just like RSV, all
Mhm.
the secretions will stay in the airways, and that's what gets super infected. So
Okay.
any virus can predispose, especially a young child,
Yeah.
to having pneumonia because you get all that drainage from the virus that sits in your chest, and that gets super infected with the bacteria.
Well, they live down in Leland, right outside of Wilmington, and they said quite a couple of kids have this. Heard of it. So, is this like a thing going around now, or is it weird that it happened down there? Like one kid got it and passed. I mean, so.
And pass it around. Well, I saw quite a bit of it in the winter.
Mhm.
We
Okay.
don't have the means to diagnose it in the office, but when you go to the hospital and they run that whole battery of
Yeah.
viruses, it'll come back up in there. And so I did see clusters of it, and that's what you're kind of describing, this cluster
Okay.
kind of thing, where you're going to get maybe 5 in a community or 10 in a community,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden, strangely enough, it disappears.
Okay, because siblings, the 2 kids I work with, they didn't get it. Now they might get the strep, I would think, but who knows? But they didn't get the other.
If this baby had those two things, that strep and the metapneumovirus, that really affected his immune system. And that'll make it difficult for him to battle it out. I hope they're treating him with very good antibiotics and maybe even some steroids so he gets better.
I think so. They've been in and out of the hospital in the last week because now that it's turned into pneumonia, they've got to be giving this kid some antibiotics, I would hope. Okay. I was just curious. I just didn't know what it was when the mom told me. I'm like, I've never even heard of that.
I haven't either.
Yeah. I just learned something. Okay. Anything else going on real quick? Any sickness we need to know that's coming on in North Carolina?
Not just the regular. I'm seeing a lot of strep, a lot of gastro. So I'm seeing a lot of vomiting, diarrhea with a bit of a fever, and kids that look rough. But they get better in 2 to 3 days. But keep them home, please. If
yes,
they say
please.
Yes,
people. Good, give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
And I'd rather have like a kid that doesn't want to go to school and maybe says he's got a belly pain, and instead of sending him over there and having him throw up all over the place and pass his germs around. So if your kiddo doesn't feel well, just take the day off, stay at home with him, and watch a nice movie.
I agree with that. Okay. Good advice.
Dr. Rose, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I love your questions.
I appreciate
We'll
it.
see you next week.
See you in a week. Dr. Rosemary Stein. Let's take a quick break. And you're live and local Real Talk on Freedom WSME.
Hello, this is Rick Dees. And don't forget the weekly Top 40 Countdown here this weekend. We have the 40 hottest hits all over the USA. Some great Leads. A weird bunch of offbeat news about the music and the people that make the music. The winner of the weekly Top 40 Challenge gets a Sony compact disc player plus $200 worth of Dole products. And our in-studio visit, Janet Jackson, will be right here. It's the weekly Top 40 Countdown here this weekend.
It's Rick Dees in the weekly Top 40, the 80s edition, Sunday night, 6 to 10 on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Good morning, you bad, beautiful bosses. This is Carrie Cobb, your boss mortgage broker from Empire Financial, NMLS 197537.
And good morning, beautiful people. This is Donna Riggs, your local realtor, here with LPT Realty in Onslow County and the surrounding areas of North Carolina. Your boss tip for today is to stop renting and start owning, because now is the right time to buy a home. Contact our team and let us help you approach the home buying process the boss way by building opportunities. Simple solutions.
Text or call your lender today at 910-382-2188 or your realtor at 910-340-0224. Empire Financial, NMLS 2108504. Equal opportunity employer and housing lender. Visit empirefi.com for terms and conditions. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
This just in, I think there's been a prison break, and reports are saying it's the Scorcher. Yes, the Scorcher has escaped and is running rampant across Comfortville. Apparently, he's targeting innocent air conditioning units. Yes, and wait a second. It seems that reports are flooding in of unfortunate citizens feeling uncomfortable, hot, and in extreme cases, I hesitate to say this on the air, people are even sweating. Oh, wait a minute. We're now getting word there seems to be some sort of disturbance. Oh, Bryant Man is on the scene, and he has apprehended the Scorcher. All right. Tune in again for another tale of Bryant Man, always doing whatever it takes.
Call Down East Heating and Air Conditioning at 346-4311 and let them keep you comfortable this summer. Down East Heating and Air, serving our community for over 25 years. Down East can also help you with your home guttering needs. Call Down East today, 346-4311.
Whether it's a quick bite to go or a sit-down lunch meeting, make Burrow Restaurant your midday go-to eatery. From small plates and appetizers, sandwiches, burgers, and salads, to steak, seafood, chicken, and pasta, there's something for everyone, including a kids menu. Or pick up a Low Country boil from the Burrow's Low Country Kitchen for your next office or family get-together. And craft cocktails to go. Restrictions apply. Ask for details. The Burrow Restaurant, 109 North Front Street in historic downtown Swansboro.
Attention all veterans, their families, and loved ones. Have you been affected by the toxic water at Camp Lejeune? If you lived or worked at the base between 1953 to 87, you may be entitled to compensation. Congress passed the PACT Act last year, and we're on a mission to help everyone get the compensation they deserve. You fought for our country. Now let us fight for you. Unsure if you qualify? Give us a call and we'll figure it out. Don't suffer in silence. You were wronged and deserve payback. Call 888-487-2154 or visit consumerlegalrequests.com for a free consultation.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
All right, we're back live and local, Real Talk, and again, reintroduce our guest in the studio, Chief Mike Yanero. Chief, I was going to talk to you about a couple things and some other stuff as well, but one particularly is the rapid DNA test. How long does it normally take to get DNA results back these days?
Between 6 and 9 months.
That's what.
Oh my word!
So if we do tests like whether it's a violent crime or even property crimes, normally the state labs sends it back in about 6 to 9 months. If it really is a violent crime, we're talking about probably 12 months to 16 months if it's just a property crime.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, you've got a device that's on the way?
Yeah, so we were lucky enough. We actually appreciate Senator Tillis and Senator Burr for putting a rapid DNA test for us and the sheriff's office to use for the next several years in the federal budget. So probably sometime in the fall, we'll get a rapid DNA machine. And so we'll be able to do DNA testing on different things in about 90 minutes.
While you wait.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
you can keep a guy sitting there in the room while you run a test on it.
For example, we actually paid a lab a number of years ago where we had blood in a homicide scene, and we wanted to make sure we got them in custody, and we got those results back in 3 days. Mm-hmm. But the city had to pay for that, and so in cases like that, we'll be able to do the testing within 90 days and
90 minutes.
No, 90 minutes. I'm sorry. And have the results immediately, so that we can continue the investigation. So we're excited because it's going to give us leads where we don't have leads before. We're working with the state to connect it to the CODIS database, which is the DNA bit database that rapists and folks that are arrested for violent crime, their DNA is put into that database.
Kind of like fingerprints.
Exactly.
I like it.
I do too.
Oh, this is awesome. This will make things. It'll keep people off the streets a lot quicker. You know what I mean? Wow. Because if you have to let somebody go because you don't, if you're waiting 9 months for DNA, now in 90 minutes if they've committed something, you can immediately.
Well, and it from on the same token, it'll allow us to eliminate suspects.
I agree
as well.
on both. Yeah. Both, yeah.
And so it's gonna speed up the investigation process.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
wow.
that's really the exciting part.
That's huge.
I love it.
Yeah, the investigative process, so that we can eliminate suspects. We can focus our efforts on suspects if we have some of that that DNA. So so we're excited about that coming to the city.
A lot of folks don't even remember way back when it took quite a while to get fingerprints analyzed. And I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that was a tough thing to do.
And we have an APHIS machine that had
Yeah.
one for a long time. An APHIS machine is an automatic fingerprint
Mhm.
identification system, and we've used that system on a number of occasions. But DNA is much more reliable,
Right.
And it's a lot easier to process.
Well, I had somebody ask me this, so I want to ask you because I told them I didn't know the answer. So a lot of people nowadays are using Ancestry, .com for DNA and 23andMe and that kind of thing. Does law enforcement normally check those databases when they're looking for DNA?
So those are private databases. It's just like, I mean, if you contracted with somebody to, I don't know, but to buy a house,
Mhm.
some of the stuff is private,
Okay.
and so we wouldn't have access to that banking information, things
Mhm.
like that. Same with the DNA.
Right. Okay.
Is those DNA databases would require search warrants in
Okay.
order to, and that would require a judge to sign it. And so it's not as easy as us putting it in. I mean,
Yeah.
on TV, you watch it
Yeah.
and it goes in the computer.
Mhm.
The database that we would search would be databases of offenders, because the
Okay.
state law requires that offenders of certain categories of crime
Mhm.
have a DNA test.
Hmm.
And so those would be the cases. But for the most part, we will probably use it to look at known suspects. And so if we have 2 or 3 suspects and we may have some type of DNA, whether it's blood or some other type of DNA, we would test those against the known
Okay.
suspects.
That makes sense.
And it's extremely reliable too. Let's take a break, and when we come back, you got another piece of equipment coming too,
Yeah.
dealing with arms. I'm really interested in that. You're live in local real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM WSME.
Spring has arrived, which means that concrete project on your to-do list is here. Mixmasters Concrete of Beulahville takes this time to thank those that serve us for our most prized possession, our freedom. When it comes to concrete, nobody does it harder or quicker than Mixmasters Concrete Incorporated. 3661 East Highway 24 in Beulahville. Whether you need concrete for residential or agricultural projects, Mixmasters Concrete Incorporated serves all of eastern North Carolina. From driveways, patios, to livestock housing, concrete for outdoor kitchens. Scott Thigpen will gladly provide a free estimate. For on-site delivery, phone 910-298-6153. And they deliver on Saturdays. Nobody does concrete harder or quicker than Mixmasters Concrete Incorporated of Beulahville. When you need ready-mix concrete quick, call Mixmasters Concrete of Beulahville, 910-298-6153. Proud to be a part of the continuing growth of Duplin, Onslow, Jones, and surrounding counties.
If you love ocean pier fishing, the Seaview Pier Motel and Restaurant located at mile marker 18 North Topsail Beach is the place for you. The Seaview Pier is a family pier complete with bait and tackle shop, rod and reel rentals, and accessories. The restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner and features a complete menu from burgers to ocean fresh seafood, straight to you from the briny blue. With the Seaview Motel right next door and the most affordable rates on the coast, you can make it a vacation or a weekend of Carolina pier fishing. It's all here, including the fish. The Seaview Pier Motel and Restaurant, mile marker 18, North Topsail Beach, across the bridge, just south from Seas Ferry. To find out what's biting or for motel reservations, call anytime, 910-328-3172.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Doctors Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
When you need comforting, who do you call? An old friend, right? Jacksonville Heating Contractors services the heating and cooling needs of our area with dependable quality train systems, guaranteeing indoor comfort for your home or business. In addition to quality train systems, Jacksonville Heating Contractors offers 24-hour emergency service, NATE certified technicians, and over 50 years of experience and service you can trust. And with a Jacksonville Heating Contractor service agreement, you never pay retail for heating or cooling services and receive priority scheduling. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And in New Bern, you can call Trent Heating and Air Conditioning 252-633-2200. In Morehead City, Sea Air Heating and Cooling 252-247-1122. If you need service or repairs, just call an old friend. Jacksonville Heating Contractors, an independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. For deals on train systems and more, visit anoldfriend.com or call 910-347-2843. Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
All right, and we're back. Live and local. Chief, there's we were talking here a couple of weeks ago about another machine, or whatever you want to, however you want to call it, an instrument that will allow you to really move forward in identifying weapons, guns used in crimes.
Yeah, actually, we've been working with the sheriff. The sheriff has one type of machine.
Okay.
And so that we can compare samples to samples. So if we get a gun at a scene, the sheriff has been gracious enough to help us identify those shell casings.
Okay.
But one of the challenges that we have is the database again, the federal database that takes those shell casings and allows us to compare them with the entire database.
Wow.
And so we've been working really hard to bring that technology to Jacksonville. And I think we've had discussions with the sheriff and making this a more regional approach, and we have a really good relationship to try to use that equipment to be more countywide and more regional in a basis. So we've been having discussions with New Bern departments in Carteret County, make sure that we're getting these guns, because the shell casings and the bullets and the projectile themselves would be things that we could test and then compare against a federal database and determine if they've been used in other crimes where folks are entering those. It's called the NIBIN system, and it's a nationwide program that looks at the shell casings and the bullets.
You know, a lot of folks they've seen TV about the ballistics on bullets that you can pinpoint a particular gun based upon the shell, the bullet itself. A lot of folks don't understand that the shell case may be left behind when people are using semi-automatics. They can be traced as well.
They can be.
There's a mark. Every gun has a distinctive, different mark on the casing.
And one of the things I think that's important is if you buy a firearm, and you have it in the box, one of the things is that typically they give you a shell casing,
a test case,
and you should take that test case and move it from where the gun is stored, because if the gun is ever stolen, you can take that shell casing, give it to the police, and they can enter that we will in the near future be able to enter that in the database. And if the gun shows up anywhere, even if you didn't have the serial number, we would be able to identify it.
Yeah, and a suggestion, if you have guns and they're older guns or whatever, go ahead and do a test case yourself.
Yeah, that's easy to do.
And just mark it as this came from this particular gun, include the serial number on it, of course, and go. Anything happens, you've got it. You're good to go.
I mean, even if as simple as your phone and taking a picture of the serial number and
Sure.
storing it in your phone is an easy way to keep track of, because you'd be surprised how many times that our officers go out there and they find a firearm and it probably was stolen. The thing is that somebody didn't have their serial number, and we didn't obtain the serial number so we can enter it in NCIC to check it.
Well, one of your officers came to my house, 3 years ago or so, and because I had one stolen, took the report, and I actually filled out the report while he was running some other stuff. I gave him the serial number, gave him everything else, and he went out and ran it very quickly. I got it entered in NCIC while he was sitting in here. And it wasn't just a few days later, some druggies over here just across the street, they got their house raided and my gun was recovered.
And that's the important part of making sure that whether it's the shell casing or the serial number, that you keep those things so that we're able to trace those things back.
And sometimes the bad guys will also destroy that serial number any way they can, or try to. In most cases, they're not successful, but they don't understand how easily it can be retrieved, but they will try. But a shell casing would be an additional identifier.
That's true. That's true.
Like that. Okay, let's take a break and do a Fox News break and come back. I want to talk about a memorial that's coming up on the 15th. You're live and local Real Talk here on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Former President Trump calls it a disgrace and says he'll appeal a verdict in New York City, finding him liable for sexually abusing and defaming the writer E. Jean Carroll.
What else can you expect from a Trump-hating, Clinton-appointed judge who went out of his way to make sure that the result of this trial was as negative as it could possibly be, speaking to and in control of a jury from an anti-Trump area?
Trump on Truth Social. Senate Democrats are back at full strength, with Dianne Feinstein returning to work after 3 months at home in California, recovering from shingles.
During that time, Democrats were unable to advance some federal court in the 11-10 divided Judiciary Committee. Feinstein is 89 years old, the oldest member of the Senate. She has said she is not running for another term next year.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1
WSME.
It's live and local. Real Talk.
And we're back. It's a little after 8 o'clock, 2 minutes after. Chief Mike Gennaro in the studio with us. The 15th, special day.
It is a special day. I mean, it's one of the days that is sad, but it is special. And one of the things that we've made a commitment to is to remember the officers in our community that have made the ultimate sacrifice.
And there have been several.
And we've done this every year for the last 20 years just to make sure that their sacrifice hasn't been forgotten.
Even during COVID, you did it, but it was private at that time.
Yeah, we did a virtual one.
Right.
But this one is not going to be virtual. So
Good.
at 10 a.m. at our memorial, we'll have a ceremony, and the mayor will speak, and then the sheriff will speak. And so we're going to, remember those officers in our community that have paid the ultimate price.
I was not here when any of the local officers were killed. There was one highway patrolman who was killed over in Robeson County, I think it was, but he had been a deputy sheriff here during that time, Larry Walton. I remember him well. We worked a few things, but it's and of course one of your guys here was killed after I left. He used to work for a security unit when I was here, so I remember him. He was a nice guy.
You know, I think it's incumbent on us to remember, you know, you remember the efforts that they made, really how they lived, you know. When we talk about the memorial, we talk about the sacrifices that law enforcement officers across this country make. And not only the sacrifice of the ultimate sacrifice, but the sacrifices they make every day.
Family.
Yeah, I
everything.
mean, you know, when we talk about any first responder, you know, they work weekends, they work holidays, they miss ball games, they miss birthdays, they miss holidays with their family. There is a certain amount of sacrifice when somebody puts on a uniform like that, whether it's a firefighter or as an EMS worker or a police officer.
I always include the ER staff with that.
That's
because
true.
they
That's
do the same thing, just at a different level. Emergency rooms don't close. Police departments don't close. No, you don't get to take Christmas off just because it's Christmas. And then there's the jail.
Definitely.
You cannot just send the corrections officers home for dinner because it's Christmas. So
And you know, it really is when we want to make sure that we always remember the folks that made the ultimate sacrifice. We also want to remember those every one of our first responders that have made the sacrifices over the years. You know, we talk about critical incidents, and you know, the normal person has 3 to 4 critical incidents in their lifetime. The normal first responder has between 400 and 800.
yes,
And so that has an impact on their mental health as well. You know, what we see is the average age of a police officer is 68 years old. And a lot of that is because of the stress that's involved in the job and the number of those critical incidents. So we're just learning about that. We're learning how to keep our first responders more healthy. The city has been gracious enough to put together a program with a vendor that provides health coaching and mental health coaching for officers. And so those are things that we really need to focus on.
let's see. I have somebody probably has a question here. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, deplorables.
Hello, adorable one. How are you?
How we doing today?
We're hanging in here.
Chief, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Before I get to you, Chief, I'm going to ask you a question, but I want to talk to these deplorables you guys feel sorry for Trump that this woman brought charges on him?
Did I feel sorry for him?
I don't feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
She didn't throw charges. It's civil.
She went after some money.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Is that it? How about the other 26 that have filed charges on him?
Well, had they filed charges or had they filed complaints?
All right. There's 26 more women on this list.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead and make him the president again.
I don't want him to be the president.
I don't think there's anybody in this room wants him to be president.
I said that about 4 times.
Come on, I dare you. Put him in for president again. Go ahead.
No.
Not me.
Not me. I don't want him in there.
Chief,
Yes, sir.
how are you?
I'm doing fine.
I want to ask you a question. They had Senator Lazarus here the other day, and he's talking about a medical building. Some of these people that are on drugs need a long term, over a year or 2 years to get off the drugs, right?
You know, when we talk about opioids, one of the things that we know is that it takes anywhere from a year to 2 years for somebody to address their addiction. And so long-term care for these folks is extremely important. You can't expect, for example, the Dix Crisis Center is limited to 7 days. And you can't expect in 7 days for somebody to lose their addiction. And so what we need is that connection, that continuum of care. And part of that is that long-term treatment.
Right. So correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you come on this station 8 years ago and you said that's what we needed?
We've been talking about this for a number of years, and we'll continue to talk about it because it is a, for us in 2016 we spent about 16,000 hours dealing with folks who have some type of mental challenge or substance abuse.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's the equivalent of 8 full-time police officers. So the city is investing about $1 million, give or take, in dealing with those things on the street. And what they really need is better treatment, and they need a mental health system.
Right.
The system we have right now is fragmented. It needs to be refocused, and that's going to be a continuing effort for a lot of communities across our country.
Right. When you said it a long time ago, 6 years ago, Robin came with the idea of the medical building helping these people. And for some reason, I thought that's what he was talking about. Then I realized that building is not for that purpose.
Well, that's the first step.
You said that 8 years ago, and now they're just picking that up. Where's it going to go? Another 8 years before you? How many people have died because we didn't give them any help all these years?
Well, we hope that will continue to grow, because when we talked about the Dix Crisis Center and that first step, and that's the entry to the system. And so now what we have to do is we have to look at when they come out the back door of the Dix Crisis Center, where do they go? And how can we get them into treatment? In fact, the city council on Tuesday night, last night, voted to partner with the Onslow County Outreach to help facilitate some of those transfers from the Dix Crisis Center into long-term care and the hospital, because the hospital deals with a lot of those folks as well.
Yeah. Well, look, Dr. Murphy is a doctor, and that should be on his priority list to get these buildings set up for as many as we need in North Carolina. Instead of worrying about what happened in Afghanistan, they should be worrying about medical stuff and buildings to help our people here, right?
Well, I don't think he's going to address the politics of Congressman Murphy, but I think he will agree with you that it is a top priority, and it's going to require some state and national assistance.
I do know that he is very supportive of law enforcement's efforts, and the city has several federal grants that help us provide. We have 3 crisis counselors on staff. One that focuses on children, and 2 that work every day on crisis intervention calls, and they carry full caseloads like Kelly does, and just to try to address some of those folks who are falling through the cracks. And I think Dr. Murphy understands that. He's spent some time with the officers, and we've had some real discussions about the mental health system and how we can address it. In fact, he sponsored a particular bill that helps with addressing children who have mental health. Because if we can turn them around as children, then they can have a more productive life. So he actually sponsored a bill that would help address some of those challenges with children in the mental health system.
Okay, so we'll wait and see how long it's going to take to get this building. See that picture up there of the mule with the glasses?
Oh, that's Theo.
That's Theo.
Oh.
I'm watching all of you. Super majority. You got the super majority. Let's see how long it's going to take you to put these buildings or one building up, and we'll wait and see if it's going to take another 8 years. It's always about the budget. You hate to spend money to better the community because it's always about the money. But I'll wait, and we'll see how long it's going to take you to get these buildings up and running. Okay?
I would imagine if the chief had his way, it would be done in the next 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
I hope so.
As a police officer, I think one of the things that's been challenging for us is that we don't really, that's not really in our bailiwick. Our bailiwick is we either arrest people, we keep the peace. And I think when we talk about the mental health system, we have to talk to folks who understand the system, because it is a system. It's just like the criminal justice system. I understand the criminal justice system, and I've grown to learn about the mental health system. And it is a system that has changed over a number of years. For example, 10 years ago, we had our own local mental health facilities. And those have been consolidated, and they've been less effective as they've consolidated. So the state contracts with Trillium. So I would encourage you to talk to Trillium and say, they need to do better.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we talked about it, and I hope somebody's going to do something about it. If Senator Lazaris gets on it, maybe he can get together with Dr. Murphy, and they can come up with a plan that you can, up these buildings up and help as many people as you can.
Yep.
So, Rayford, one more thing for you.
Yes, dear.
You're talking about the fentanyl, and you're going crazy on the fentanyl. But have you heard of the narco subs?
Narco or Narcan?
Narcan, narco, whatever. Narcan subs. These are small submarines.
Oh,
the
yes.
cartel have from Colombia coming over here. They've caught over 100 bringing in heroin. And
Yes, I know about
they
those.
can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Okay, you should look into those and talk about those too a little bit.
Well, the Coast Guard has seized a whole bunch of those little suckers, and because they're classified, they call them submarines, but they actually float on the surface. But most of the vessel is below the surface. And just FYI, many of those don't make it here, not because of intervention, but because of big waves.
Yeah, but just to let you know that there's other ways that they're getting this stuff.
Oh,
in here.
absolutely.
Okay, so all right, Kelly, how you doing over there?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing okay? Where's the sign?
It's a good question. Raver was supposed to check on that.
Well, I'm checking today because
Okay.
I didn't have time to
Yes,
stop
I'm
yesterday.
asking about it.
I'm watching you. That picture up there, he's watching you.
I know.
Don't worry.
That's okay.
Don't worry.
It'll get here. I promise it will
All
be.
right.
So when
You
we
guys
put up
have a good day.
the new sign, do we get to take the jackass down?
No, we keep them up there.
No.
He stays
Come
up
on.
there. No,
I
that sign
just took
stays.
the guns down.
We don't.
We don't know. I
we
think
don't
my
know.
wife stole my gun.
I'm not sure where
I
they
hope
went.
so.
We didn't move them.
She's probably
right.
she probably
Yeah.
took
So
them
you
to the
guys
pawn
have a good
shop.
day.
Okay.
All right.
All right. See ya.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. He's referencing I had an 1851 musket out here. 1851.
It
That
was
was
heavy.
that was an
Yeah.
assault
Yeah.
weapon because it was issued to the VMI cadets as a training weapon.
Really?
I traced it down. It's got a shorter barrel than the normal muskets, and it's Springfield. And I ran the check on it, and there were 159 of them manufactured with short barrels for training purposes. And some of those weapons, this could have been one, we have no way of knowing that, were with VMI cadets providing security at John Brown's hanging. How's that sound? You're live on Local Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM WSME. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Cool Bobby. Jacksonville, Onslow County, and beyond. You have found the official station for the Doo-Wop Stop. Heard Saturday nights, 7 till 10, right here on Freedom 97.1 WSME and worldwide at WSME971.com. Join me as we play the absolute best and greatest doo-wop songs of all time. Saturday night, 7 till 10. Get connected now at doowopstop.com.
If you plan to rebuild, remodel, repair, or do cottage or home improvements, Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City, should be your first stop. Williams Hardware carries power tools and equipment, chains and fasteners, plumbing and electrical supplies, along with Gerber, Buck, Ace knives. Williams Hardware is your helpful, handy hardware store. Williams Hardware cuts glass to size and custom threads pipe. When the chores are done and the cleanup is finished, light up that Wilmington grill from Williams Hardware. Williams Hardware, 3011 B Bridge Street, Moorish City. Open Monday through Saturday from 7:30 till 6 p.m. and Sundays for your convenience, noon till 5. Phone Williams Hardware, 252-726-7158.
The best deal for the grill is at Jones LP Gas and Oil Company each Friday. Every Friday from 8 a.m. till closing at 5, Jones LP Gas and Oil Company will fill your 20-pound LP gas grill cylinder for only $11. You heard that right. Each Friday till closing, you can have your 20-pound LP gas cylinder filled for only $11 at Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 Wilmington Highway in heart of Verona. In addition to saving money on your LP gas for the grill, Jones Gas and Oil is your full-service gas and oil company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural gas and oil needs, as well as gas appliances, LP replacement parts, fill cylinders, and tankless water heaters, and they offer a 10% military discount on installation. Remember to get that cylinder filled every Friday until closing for only $11. Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 the Old Wilmington Highway, Verona. Phone 910-346-6384.
Mills International Incorporated dealer is ready for spring, and you should be too. The Cub Cadet Ultima Series. See how these zero-turn mowers have stepped up from a traditional lap bar to a familiar steering wheel experience for stability on a variety of terrains, including hills up to 20 degrees. Unlock the possibilities of your lawn with the Cub Cadet Ultima Series. Head to your local Cub Cadet dealer, Mills International Incorporated, at 801 South Queen Street in Kinston for exceptional offers, expert advice, and superior service.
Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro reminds you to check your mailbox and find your quote on homeowners insurance. Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro goes the extra mile to make sure you're in good hands, like helping you customize your home and windstorm coverage with their Write Your Own home policy. Yes, save even more when you bundle your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, and even your golf cart. Remember, if it rolls or floats, call Tammy for a quote. You and everything you own are in good hands with Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro. Call today, 910-326-5383. Tammy Fry Allstate, 638 West Corbett Avenue in the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro. Check your mailbox today for savings on your homeowner's insurance. Attention property owners, are you fed up with bad tenants, under market rents, and late payments? At Fountain Management, we provide unrivaled levels of expertise and all the tools and services you need to make owning a rental property easy and profitable. Are you ready to talk about taking the management of your real estate investment to the next level? Well, contact us today. Fountain Management, 910-455-1609. We will make owning your rental property simple and rewarding.
Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including storm repair and cleanup. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing, fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you want to painted, maintained, power washed, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit southerntouchpaintingnc.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued growth of Onslow and surrounding counties.
It's live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And we're back. Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street, your one-stop shop for all of your boating and fishing needs right here in downtown Jacksonville. Stop on by today. The doors will be open in 7 minutes, and George and Elise there, they'll have you a boat ready to go in about another hour or so. You want to buy a boat? New one? Yep, got them. One of the boats that I would be buying right now, if I was going to put another one into the fleet, would be the Aloha Tri-Tune boat. It's got 3 tunes, 3 of those tubes, and that thing handles like a regular boat, and it will fly. You can run about 36, 38 miles per hour in one of them. Haven't run the other one. And on the water, that's zipping right along. You can pull tubes, water skis, or whatever you want. You can throw your grandchildren off the tubes. They can maneuver just like that, like I do with mine. She goes airborne. when pulling her down
I
the
know
river.
you do it on purpose.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's what she wants. That's what she asks for. So you can do that, have all the fun on the water that you want. And also you can just cruise down the river. Late afternoon, early evening, sunset cruise. Just go down there, get a pizza, take it with you, and just chill. You can put a whole bunch of people on that boat. It's a pontoon boat with an extra tune on board. So 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Offshore today, small craft advisory is in effect through tonight. Northeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots, increasing to 20 to 25 early this afternoon. It'll come down as it approaches dark, about 15 to 20 seas, 3 to 5, 2 to 3 near shore, dominant period 5 seconds. Going to be a rather choppy day to try to get through the inlet. Sounds and rivers choppy, becoming rough early this afternoon. Easterly winds tomorrow 5 to 10, much more better. Seas 2 to 3, 5 seconds. Sounds and rivers a light chop. And on Friday, as a prelude to the weekend, which is going to be great as well, southerly winds 5 to 10, seas 2 to 3.
Today, sunny, high of 76 with gusty winds. Tonight, clear, low of 50, not gusty. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 80, gusty again. Tomorrow night, clear, low of 56. Once again, not gusty tomorrow night. And on Friday, sunny, high of 82 and gusty. And the weekend looks beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
The weekend is going to be a real
all about it.
Great thing. You play golf, so this is a golf weekend.
Well, I try.
I just don't want to hit anything I have to chase, but you probably walk the course, don't you?
Sometimes.
No. Okay. Pulling that whole bag of golf clubs. Why do you need so many clubs?
Well, you're asking somebody that's not a very good golfer.
Okay. Well,
I probably need more clubs than I could put in that bag.
Oh, okay. But you were in a little tournament a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, the Guns and Hoses golf tournament. You know, that's a tournament that the firefighters and police officers put on every year for the Child Advocacy Center.
Wonderful.
And so, the tournament has been going on for probably more than 12 or 13 years.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, so it started because for the Child Advocacy Center, they needed a particular piece of equipment to help with preserving evidence on child sexual abuses. And the firefighters and police officers recognized that need, and so they came up with this tournament to help pay for that. And they've just continued on for a number of years, providing assistance to the Child Advocacy Center.
A lot of folks don't understand, and yes, as you said earlier, our job is to arrest people and keep the peace. But it's way beyond that. You got the mental health, you got the child issues, Child Advocacy Center that you guys are all supporting, which is a critical need. You've got the Women's Center, the shelter there, which actually kind of got its start with the police department way back when.
You know, it's part of that. When we talk about the community policing process, it's looking at community issues and community problems and trying to analyze them and trying to provide the best services that we can to solve the problems. Because typically, if we just arrest and put them in jail,
you're going to rearrest.
Yeah, it doesn't solve the problem. So if we can prevent the problems from happening, then it really is. I mean, our police department does a good job of managing the crime. If you call us for an issue, then we'll be there and we'll resolve it. And we do a pretty good job of that. But there is a real challenge in preventing crime. And so when you talk about preventing crime, just like when we talk about the mental health systems, then one of the things that we want to do is look at the challenges that are associated with mental health and try to reduce those. And that's why we've hired the crisis counselor. And that's why one of those counselors specializes in children with trauma, especially trauma that's related to the opioid overdoses that we're seeing in our community.
Yeah. Opioid overdoses. I don't know what the latest stats are. We had, I think, 60 plus die last
Mhm.
year.
And I think we'll surpass that this year. It's been a challenge, and it'll continue to be a challenge. I mean, when you talk about opioid deaths, I mean, more people die of opioid deaths than fatal car crashes, homicides, and suicides combined.
Yes.
And so, when we talk about the devastation, I know that at least two of the kids that went to school with my son, both got addicted to opioid, and both had both passed away. And,
Really?
Yeah, and we can't have
That brings
that.
it home.
Yeah, it does bring it home because I mean, I knew the kids, and one of the things I think that's really important for most communities is that that it's we shouldn't tolerate that.
No.
And if we really want to address it, then one of the things that we have to do is be serious about it. And just like those questions, people should get involved in it.
We need to take the politics out of it first.
Well, and I mean, there's all kinds of opportunities to volunteer to help folks. There are options everywhere. A lot of folks develop their own that have been involved with the opioid, have developed their own nonprofits to try to help. The outreach is working hard to try to address some of that. And there's opportunities for volunteers there. There's opportunities for volunteers in a number of different places. So getting involved in that is extremely important because our goal is to try to prevent those deaths from happening. And we do. If we didn't carry Narcan, if the officers didn't carry Narcan.
Oh, it'd be what, 10 times as great?
Yeah, they're giving it every single day. Every single day, the firefighters and police officers and deputies in Onslow County are given Narcan and reviving folks who would have died had those first responders not been there.
So that would be another 365 minimum. Probably double that.
Compared to how much Narcan we are, I mean, it would be devastating to this community. And the 60 deaths last year is devastating to this community because it touches so many people.
Yeah.
It touches, for us, it touches people across the country, but it affects families. It affects children. It affects other people in the community, not just the families. And so it's really something that we have to address. We have to continue to work on that continuum of care, which is broken. Our mental health system is broken. I mean, I heard somebody the other day, the head of the Rotary International, say that people keep talking about it being broken. Something has to exist before it's broken. And I think that's part of the challenge is that, that the system has been dismantled over a number of years, and it needs to be, we need to be serious about what we can do.
Volunteers, where can they volunteer? How are they needed for folks like Theo or whoever would like to get involved?
If they call our crisis counselors, they'll work with them to help them do that. I mean, a lot of times, we talk about peer navigators. We talk about folks who have been involved in that. And, some of those folks volunteer to do that. For example, the Veterans Court, when we talk about the Veterans Court, they have serious volunteers who are looking for veterans because they were veterans themselves, and trying to help guide those folks to get away from those kinds of addictions. And so there's one opportunity someone can volunteer. There are a number of options. So I think from a community standpoint, one of the things that we really do need to do is really get serious about what we can do to help folks address some of those addiction issues.
What other issues are you facing in the police department? Are burglaries, are you've got them under control, or the home breaking and enterings?
Well, I think, when we talk about those property crimes, it really does go back to that addiction issue.
Same thing.
I mean, and I know that in Nash County, one of the small towns there got involved with the mental health system, and what they were able to do was cut their property rate by about half.
Really?
Yeah, because a number of those property crimes are related to folks who have those addictions. And so if we address those addictions, then what we see is the property crime drop. And that's for the last 20 years since I've been here, property crimes have been stubborn.
Right.
We haven't had we've had ups and downs on violent crime. For the most part, it's been down, but the challenges that we've had over that 20-year period have been property crimes. And if we're really going to address property crimes, then most of those property crimes go back to that addiction, because folks are stealing to keep their habits up.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can address that, then we'll refocus them, and they'll become more productive in the communities.
If you're in a neighborhood, you live in a decent neighborhood or whatever, is it not quite often that you can kind of pick out where the scumbags live who are dealing dope just by doing a drive-by?
Well, a lot of times that's important for folks to tell us if they see things that are suspicious,
Mhm.
or, I can't tell you how many times I went to one burglary when I was a young detective, and I went and did the neighborhood canvas, and the person across the street said, "Well, I saw this guy carrying guns out of the house, and I."
So why didn't you call?
I thought it was a little bit strange, but I didn't want to bother you. Well, I mean,
no, bother me. Yeah.
Well, and that's what I tell people is, you're not bothering us to call us if you see
Correct.
something that's not
Yeah.
that you don't. I mean, that's what we want you to do, because that helps us address the issues. And so giving us a call and telling us what the issue might be helps us resolve those issues to make our community a better place to live.
A quick question before we take a caller. We're talking about addictions and people overdosing and whatever. I understand that some folks in the older age range are suffering, experiencing these issues.
When we had the Attorney General here, we had an open forum, and we had an older individual that was in their 70s come up during that and say, "Look, my wife is addicted to this stuff. She had some knee problems, and they started giving her that stuff. And we've had a real terrible time trying to get her off." 50% of everybody that takes an opioid has a propensity to become addicted.
Wow.
And so if I mean, that can happen when you're 72 years old as well as when you're 20 years old.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Got a caller. Who's this?
Good morning. Retired Sheriff Hans Miller.
Hey, Sheriff, how are you?
I've been hearing what Chief Iannaro said. I agree with everything he said. And I think it's important enough to call in to let the people know, the people that are listening to know, that their police department and the sheriff's office, and we're sharing resources. So now the new DNA system, we work with each other, because where this doesn't stop crime, so we have to work together. One thing I would like to say about addiction, we need to be more active in the schools. When I was with this SBI, I was invited to different schools with my FBI partner, and we talked about internet safety. We have to get out in the schools and do the same thing about the dangers of addiction and catch them before they go to a party and say, "Here, try this." We let the people know that the devastating impact of addiction is before they become addicted.
Yeah, maybe if we could find some ex-addicts. I mean, that used to be one of the things you would do. You'd find somebody who is recovering addict, and have them stand up there and tell you their sad story.
Well, I mean, but parents, it's incumbent on parents to make sure that they're having those discussions with their children about the dangers of addiction and reinforcing that message. You know, a number of years ago, there was a lot of controversy about whether the DARE program was effective. And that's not really what the study said. The study said is that the anti-drug message needs to be reinforced continuously. And I think that's part of the challenge. And part of the challenge in the schools is, you know, we need to reinforce it as many times as we can. And it needs to be reinforced by parents, by people in the community to say, you know, this is not a good idea. These addictions will hurt you and they destroy your family.
Exactly. It takes a five-pronged approach to do this. We work with the parents, we work with the teachers, we work with the school system, law enforcement, social services, health department. We can maybe put a panel together and have a captured audience, auditorium full of kids, young kids, older kids, and let them know, and maybe show them some, you know, I don't like death by PowerPoint, but let them know some realities, some of the things that some other states are suffering because of. Hopefully we don't have that here. Hopefully we will never have it here.
Yeah, interesting concept. You know, when I was in high school, we drove school buses, some of us back then. And I'll never forget in the training, we were all shown in the classroom at that time, photographs of accidents, wrecks. I don't call them accidents, wrecks. Somebody did something wrong. People died. And that was shown to us as a point of reality. This is what can happen. Wake up and smell the roses. Drive carefully, type thing.
And it takes a community to work together for the common goal. And I just want to again say that I think the people, the citizens of Onslow County and the city of Jacksonville and all the other municipalities, Richland, Swansboro, North Topsail Beach, Holly Ridge, and part of Surf City. And did I leave one out? I think I got them all.
You did.
But everybody should be very proud that their law enforcement is working together and working together for the people, for the benefit of the community. And we share resources, which is good for the taxpayers.
Yeah. Hans, appreciate your call, sir. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. 7:30. That's something else. We probably still need to get together, you and the sheriff and any other police chiefs in the community would like to do. We talk about it on the radio over here regularly, trying to get together with law enforcement particularly, and talk about the opportunities for ham radio in case there's ever any situation. We can mobilize a network. We had a training session not long ago, one evening, and on our network, and we were all sent to our nearest convenience store with handhelds. And all over Onslow County, we can talk because we can hit repeaters anywhere. And we all were given a description of a vehicle where a child was missing. And we all reported that description back to our net control. We didn't give any tag numbers. We were told not to do that. But you would be amazed at how many blue vehicles fitting that particular description that every one of us picked up. Most of us picked up multiples in just a very few minutes, and we're able to report.
We have opportunities to partner, and I think that'd be a great way to do that.
I think we can do that, and maybe if we could get you and the sheriff together one day, and Hans and I can easily present that because we work both sides of that street. Okay, Chief, thank you for coming in, spending so much time with us this morning. We do appreciate it. And
anytime,
anytime you've got something, don't wait for us to call. Just anytime you've got something out there, have Sarah reach out or you reach out. You got my contact information, so we're willing. We've got airtime. We'll make it available.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking time out this morning.
Always. Chief Mike Guerrero. Let's take a break here live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Cool Bobby B. Jacksonville, Onslow County, and beyond. You have found the official station for the Doo-Wop Stop. Heard Saturday nights, 7 till 10, right here on Freedom 97.1 WSME and worldwide at WSME971.com. Join me as we play the absolute best and greatest doo-wop songs of all time. Saturday night, 7 till 10. Get connected now at doowopstop.com.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper and started a little over a year ago? We now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Mother's Day is Sunday, May 14th, in case you forgot. So make the mother in your life feel extra special with a gift from Barnes Diamond Gallery, 461 Western Boulevard, Suite 120, Jacksonville. All Mother's Day, jewelry has been reduced with huge discounts, especially for mothers. You are guaranteed to find the perfect Mother's Day gift at Barnes Diamond Gallery. Barnes Diamond Gallery has a lovely selection of earrings, pendants, bracelets, necklaces, watches, and Mother's Day rings to choose from. In addition, Barnes Diamond Gallery has loose diamonds, emeralds, and pearls. With an in-store jeweler, Barnes Diamond Gallery can custom design a special and unique piece just for you. Being family-owned and operated for 40 years, many of our area's mothers and grandmothers grew up with Barnes Diamond Gallery. So why not remember them this Mother's Day, Sunday, May 14th, with a gift from Barnes Diamond Gallery, 421 Western Boulevard, Suite 120, right here in Jacksonville. Remember, Barnes Diamond Gallery pays top prices for gold, sterling silver jewelry, sterling flatware, and diamonds. Happy Mother's Day from Barnes Diamond Gallery.
Serving our area for over 40 years now, Flatwoods Outfitters is Onslow County's oldest firearm dealer and takes this time to wish each and every mother a very happy and safe Mother's Day. Whether you want to purchase a rifle or shotgun for hunting or competition or a handgun for personal security, Flatwoods Outfitters is our area's most complete firearm facility. Flatwoods Outfitters features a great selection of name brand long guns, shotguns, and handguns to choose from, and offers Onslow County's only outdoor range to practice and safely learn how to operate your firearm, which Flatwoods Outfitters highly recommends. The range is open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 12 to 4 p.m. on Sundays to practice and sight in your scope. Flatwoods Outfitters, Onslow County's oldest firearm facility, 111 Second Amendment Lane, just off Highway 24, between Jacksonville and Swansboro and Hubert, where they aim to preserve our hunting heritage, wildlife, and constitution. Phone 910-353-7593. Once again, happy Mother's Day from Flatwoods Outfitters.
When Ronnie Watson and Steve Matthews first came to Emerald Isle, they came by ferry or private boat because there was no bridge. As the area grew, Ronnie Watson became mayor. And since that beginning, the Emerald Isle and Atlantic Beach area has continued to grow and is one of the top family beaches on the East Coast. In 1978, Ronnie and Steve formed Watson Matthews Real Estate and joined the residential development of Emerald Isle. They were the developers of several residential subdivisions, including Land's End, Emerald Plantation, and played a part in the development of Emerald Landing, Royal Oaks, Staughton Ridge, and several others. Ronnie and Steve realized that the spectacular growth would not have been possible without the community, military families, and neighbors. Watson Matthews Real Estate takes this opportunity to ask you to join them in remembering all those that have served and those that are serving today. This Memorial Day, Monday, May 29th. Watson Matthews Real Estate, serving Emerald Isle and the Atlantic Beach area since 1978. Phone 252-354-2872. Online at watsonmatthews.com.
If your plans include hitting the road this year to do some traveling, make sure a visit to Silent Service Center is on your to-do list. Travel safety starts with the tires on your vehicle, and a visit to Silent Service Center will give you peace of mind with the best value in all name brand tires and the largest selection of used tires in this area. In addition to quality tires, Silent Service Center is a North Carolina inspection station and does complete brake service, oil changes, and alignment service. Silent Service Center, 1707 June Boulevard, Jacksonville, and 108 West Main Street, Havelock. Phone 910-353-4760.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
All right, we're back live and local. Kelly, you missed your opportunity. You should have asked the chief if you could do a ride along program, because you want to ride along in a police car one day.
I do want to go and see what's going on. I'll probably be scared about what I see.
But maybe they could put you in the back seat, with the bars and the chains and the stuff, and put you in shackles.
That's fine.
Whatever.
Yeah.
With the
I'll be
bad,
cool with that.
how about with the bad guy in the back seat? Could you ride along with a bad guy?
Well, I'd end up doing some cat therapy. So yeah, I'd end up just doing
that would be
on the
hilarious.
on the individual.
Yeah, that would be totally hilarious.
Well, I want to bring up something for parents. A warning
ahead.
that it came to my attention yesterday from a kid client that the mom brought her in, middle school kid. So this how I left so disturbed. It has bugged me all night long into today, and I came and told you about it this morning. Parents and caregivers, grandparents, siblings, neighbors really, really need to monitor what these kids are watching on TikTok and Twitter. Twitter is the worst because Twitter where it originated and it spilled over into TikTok. My kid client, who's a middle schooler here in Onslow County, 12 years old, came in incredibly upset over a video that they had watched.
This is disgusting. Folks, put your earmuffs on.
Yeah. So there's a video circulating and it's shown on Twitter. TikTok has now, they claim they banned it. Don't know if that's true.
Too late. It's been saved.
But it's on Twitter. It's a video of a man, a full-grown man, putting a kitten in a blender and killing it, basically, in a live kitten in the blender. And it is awful. And the kids are watching this, and it's circulating among the middle schools.
That's going to make them sick.
It was my client was so traumatized. The mother watched it because she's like, "There's no way this is real." The mom said it was the most disgusting thing she'd ever seen. I pulled the video up. I did not watch it. I could not do it. I saw enough and read enough, and the mom was so upset. And she said, you really need to talk to parents. She goes, how is this stuff allowed to be shown? I agree. I don't know.
Who is watching the gate?
Apparently no one's watching the gate. And these kids have access to this. And I haven't liked Twitter for a long time because they'll just show anything. And then it was spilled over into TikTok. And TikTok issued a statement saying, we do not condone animal abuse and we don't allow these videos to be shown. But I guess for a little while it was shown. And then they started whatever.
Well, first of all, there should be arrested.
Arrested?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No. Persecuted.
I am so bothered by the fact that A, people find this entertaining. B, it is cruel. C, the counselor in me says this man's going to end up killing a human because if you have that much callous disregard for life, it's going to spill over.
One of our heinous crimes around here: a kid set fire to a cat. And then he raped and murdered a young girl.
Correct. You just that leads into that. The fact that, and what's even more disturbing to me as a counselor is there are some kids that watch that aren't bothered because they're so desensitized because of video games and movies and whatever. That's scary as well.
Did they think it was not real?
My client wasn't sure. She said kids at school were talking about it. She got curious because little middle schoolers are curious about everything. And she watched it, and she had to come. This kid was very traumatized by it, and the mom was even more. She said, "I want to see what she was." She said, "I thought she was lying."
How many hits did this thing get across the country?
Not even across the country, Rayford. It went worldwide.
And think about the trauma
that
this has created.
It is like, but I saw enough of the headline, and thank God I did not hit was so bothered all last night about this. Like it
Well,
is
I'm not
so
going to pull
bad.
it up, but I'm going to pull up the
Yeah.
story.
Pull up the story, and it's so. My point I wanted to make everybody: please monitor what these kids are watching. And if you hear kids talking about some video, get on. Even if you have to create an account to watch it, get on and look and see what these kids are watching. I mean, come on.
And then ban them from watching. I mean,
turn
you
that
know,
mess off if you have to.
and
Like,
if you have to
put a
take
parental
if-
control on.
if
Do
you
something.
have to take away their tablets
Yeah.
and their computers or whatever, limit their access to it. There are ways to do it. If you don't know how to do it, there are
Yeah,
computer
we can help
experts
you
out
with it.
there.
I'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
All right, let's take a break. You're live and local Real Talk. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Does your big dog sound like this? Does it look about the same? Then take your big dog to Bill's Cycle Salvage.
Captain America, I'm Billy.
Now, we never said Bill was a sane man. But he sure has some cool stuff like leather chaps, vests, and jackets.
Oh, I've got a helmet.
Accessories for you and your bike, saddlebags, seat jewelry, keychains.
These ain't no pork chops. These are U.S.
Bill can even order customized items.
I think I'll order kidneys because I left mine out there on the road somewhere.
Magazines, videos, t-shirts, ball caps. Come on into Bill's Cycle Salvage, 921 Marine Boulevard. Everyone is welcome.
Troublemakers.
Bill's got plenty of accessories to make your big dog look like a big dog. Sure, you can buy the parts at Bill's for Harley and try to fix it yourself, but
You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel like it? Well, do you, punk?
Bill's Cycle Salvage, 921 Marine Boulevard for the Harley enthusiasts.
That's what it's all about.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Doctors Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
Spring is here. That means fishing and vacation season. Make sure your car or truck is ready for the road with a visit to Battlefield Automotive, 1214 West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro. If your check engine light is on, you may be looking at an expensive repair bill down the road, complicated by extreme temperatures and an engine that's not prepared to handle it. The pros at Battlefield Automotive can check your battery, starter, and charging system, charge and repair air conditioning systems to keep you cool, and tune up your engine. They do everything from oil changes to brakes to transmission repair, and they carry a complete line of accessories. Battlefield Automotive are experts in both domestic and foreign car and truck repair and guarantee all their work using only ASC certified mechanics. So, whether it's a battery, a simple hose, tune up, or just getting your ride ready for the getaway, call 910-325-0828. Visit Battlefield Automotive today, 1214 West Corbett Road, Highway 24 in Swansboro. Again, the number for Battlefield Automotive is 910-325-0828.
Mohawk All Pet Protection and Warranty is the only carpet protection and warranty for all pets, all accidents, all the time. Because your pets are family members too. No matter how you live, we've got you covered. Soft, luxurious, smart strand, forever clean carpet. Gorgeous, durable, solid tech, luxury vinyl tile. Mohawk has the ultimate floor for every room in your home. It's suitable for all pets. For details, contact Watkins Floor Covering online at watkinsnewfloor.com. Watkins Floor Covering, thanking you for voting them the best of the best for 2022 in the flooring, covering, and carpet cleaning category. Watkins Floor Covering. They're more than just floors. It's custom showers, custom tubs, carpet cleaning, backsplashes, bathrooms, commercial, retail, and home flooring too. Watkins Floor Covering. Family owned and operated since 1997 with locations in Jacksonville and Surf City. Watkins Floor Covering. You stand on it, we stand behind it.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Well, we're back here for a closing minute or two. And we appreciate all of you folks, your comments and your postings and everything else this morning. And we do really appreciate Chief Unero taking the time to come in. And of course, retired Sheriff Hans Miller for calling in, and others who called in. Dr. Rose this morning, good information. And I think Lee is going to be out for the next couple of days or so. She's not sick. She's just, as a matter of precaution, to save the old guy and the weakling over here to my left, who gets everything.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you finding?
Okay. First of all, it took place in China.
Oh, really?
That's a big shock.
Oh my God.
They've named him. And there's some
This is
people,
the guy
some
with the cat
groups
in
are
the blender.
saying that he was arrested, others are not. And now Chinese animal abusers are now threatening to put more cats in the blender just for
Really?
fun. I mean, these people are just so sick. This is awful, Rayford.
Well, they
And
did
kids are seeing this.
yeah, and if they put this up, and any of the platforms
Yeah.
should be censored to the point that they are suspended.
And-
All accounts are suspended. Nobody can post anything.
And you wonder why Congress is wanting to ban TikTok. You can't blame them.
No,
These
but
kids
it
see the
needs to
craziest
be-
videos.
needs to be
This
done.
is awful.
Ridiculous.
And this is going to give the traumatized kids because, oh yeah, I just don't know what to say.
All right, tomorrow morning we'll be back in here. We've got a gentleman from a postal worker. He's a union rep too, I guess. He's going to be coming in tomorrow morning at 7:30. Yep. I can't read my own writing. I'm that far
7:30
away.
tomorrow morning.
And he's going to be coming in talking about a food drive. Now it's this weekend, so they have not had a lot of publicity yet. In other words, none. So it's the weekend that you guys need to go through your pantry, start doing it today. Find some stuff in there that you can give, or go to the store and buy it. There's some sales going on. I was in there the other day. Go buy some canned products, some things that could be used at soup kitchens or for people or for whatever, or clean out your pantry and do it. So get ready for this weekend. That's going to be on Saturday. You can leave it on your doorstep, and your postal workers will pick it up.
I might try to remember to bring some in tomorrow to give to him while I'm here. Think about that.
To get who here?
Yeah, when he comes in the morning, he can take it with
He
him
can take it
tomorrow.
with him tomorrow. Yeah, there you go. That's not a bad idea.
To do that.
All right, so he'll be in. Also,
Somebody remind me.
I just reminded you. Robin, reminder.
Yeah.
And also at 8:30 tomorrow morning, a guy that when he was 15 years old, he was playing music on Court Street. Ron Bass.
Okay.
I was looking at some of the information that he furnished. And he's going to be calling in tomorrow morning. We'll chat with him here. He's still performing, and he's approaching 80.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
I like it.
And he's still performing, and he will be. He played with the Drifters. He did openings with the Drifters. He's wasn't a drifter. He played in, with the Drifters and Little Eva.
Okay.
Yeah, over there in Kinston area, and all around where she performed, and with a number of the people. Kenny Rogers in the first edition before Kenny went country. Remember Kenny Rogers in the first edition? You probably don't.
I know exactly who Kenny Rogers is. Yeah.
No, Kenny Rogers in the first edition.
My mother had
when
an
he was
album.
when he was rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have an old album at
Okay.
the house. I think my mom still has it.
Anyway, he's going to be calling in tomorrow morning, so we'll chat about that. And about his Jazzland days, downtown Jacksonville, even into the early 80s. How about that? And I'm going to save a little bit of that for an interesting comment from him tomorrow morning too. So he'll be chatting with us tomorrow morning, and he's going to be here for the Court Street reunion on the 3rd of June.
Okay.
The downtown Court Street reunion. We'll talk more about that again tomorrow. And if you need tickets, we've got them. I've got tickets available. Lee's got tickets. Any number of people. There are many locations around Onslow County that have tickets. So we'll chat about that again tomorrow. Meanwhile, about 22 hours, we will be back, and Lee will be hanging around her household. So she's not sick, just hanging around there for a while.
Yeah.
taking care of her garden, maybe.
Yep.
We'll talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Fox News is coming up now, and then about 10 o'clock, another dose of the Daily D's, and at 3 o'clock this afternoon, Hollywood. Hollywood Man will be spinning all the tunes that you really like to hear.
Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. A day after meeting with congressional leaders about it, President